Today, I want to read to you some of the scariest stories from Reddit that I cannot get out of my mind. I'm talking glitches in the Matrix that defy all sense of logic, haunted houses full of vengeful ghosts, and a man showing up at someone's door at 2 a.m. knowing way too many intimate details about them. And joining me today are my friends, Chris and Selena from the Can't Sleep podcast. I'm so excited to have them here in the Rogue Detecting Society headquarters with me. And if you're a fan of scary stories from Reddit, mysterious disappearances, and more, you found the right place because I am just like you. This is Heart Starts Pounding. I'm Kaelyn Moore, and make sure you subscribe to hear our weekly episodes. It's when your heart starts pounding. Chris and Selena, welcome to Heart Starts Pounding.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having us.
I am so excited to have you guys. You have both, I told you this before, but probably the most requested guests per my audience.
Really?
So I think everyone's going to be really excited that you're here. Yeah, absolutely. Well, because you guys kind of cover it all. Like, Chris, you have your true crime channel. You guys talk about a lot of ghosty stuff. You go to a lot of ghosty places. It's really just like it's kismet that we're all here.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, actually, it just makes sense. Yeah, we had a little talk before we met here right now. And yeah, it was just made sense.
Get together.
Have you guys gone anywhere ghosty recently?
Selena has.
I've been out being spooky. Chris and I need to get back together. We have plans though. We're heading back out into the ghost wilderness in the next couple months.
Yeah.
Do you have like the first place on your list that you're going to hit like right away?
No, not yet.
No, not exactly.
We're like not really good at planning. We just we're like 2 weeks before, we're like, we should figure this out. And then we figure it out.
It works.
Every time. Yeah.
No, that's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it. One of the episodes I did for the show, I went to Salem and we stayed in the Henry Derby house. Very spooky, 10 out of 10, highly recommend.
Okay.
And me, I'm a planner. So I like to go in with a plan and I like to, okay, what are we going to film first? Like, what do we want to do first? Like, how are we going to do this? And then I went with 2 Girls, 1 Ghost. And they were like, let's just vibe. Let's just feel it out. Like, see where, and that was the absolute right way to do it.
Yes.
You can't have too much of a plan because things go awry in those situations.
You gotta have a beat sheet. That's all.
Yeah. 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 We go in, we don't plan like what room is what. We do a little tour first and we're like, this room seems weird. Let's try this room and this. Yeah. So it is vibes. We base it off vibes mostly too.
Yeah.
When you walk into a place, do you feel like you get a vibe immediately? Because some people are more sensitive than others.
Selena's the vibe picker-upper.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
But I feel like, Chris, you're getting more and more into it. Every time I feel like you bring it up now before even I do. I like to watch her and see, and I can like see the shift in her and I'll be like, she feels it too.
I'm her Padawan, basically.
Yeah.
She's like, is she learning? Yeah. No, it's cool.
Selena, like, where do you feel it? If you walk into a room and you immediately know something's up, like, how do you feel it in your body?
So for me, I get like a little visual, like, static on a TV. It's static near the roof for me. So it's almost like my eyes get a little pins and needles in my eyes up top. And then it's usually goosebumps or my neck gets hot. So those are the order and that what kind of goes in.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I definitely feel the face getting hot. That's
or
something.
Ear ringing, left ear ring. I know it's not biological.
She's just got tinnitus and having a stroke.
It's like something don't feel right in this room.
We have a paramedic on site. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
No.
Just in case.
But we were talking about it we were filming right before this, how excited we were to actually talk to a different person.
Yeah, we're like, we never collabed with Can't Sleep with anybody. So this will be fun.
Yeah, your first collab.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, I'm so honored.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is great.
Us.
I'm so excited.
I mean, technically we're on your channel, but we will have you on our channel.
Yes.
We're excited.
No, that's great. Honestly, like, so excited you guys are here. So excited we were able to plan this. We have some really scary stories that I'm excited to get into today. And so I'm going to kick it off. I want to tell you about this because like the stories I found, honestly, were just me on Reddit at 1 a.m. in between feedings being like, let me just scare myself.
Yes.
As I was combing through just scary stories. And so the first thing I want to read you is I found this thread. This is from 4 months ago in r/ghosts.
Ooh.
And the thread, these are my favorite threads on Reddit. But someone just asks, what is that one story that not only made you believe in the paranormal, but also sends chills down your spine to this day? And I'm not talking about, I heard something move in the kitchen. I mean something disturbing. And so this first personal experience story that someone wrote out comes from a poster called Clementine Yeah. And they wrote, not a story, but a personal experience. I had a friend when I was little, probably age 7 to 10, given how well I remember her. She was older than I was, and she had long brown hair. She always wore the same thing, black jeans and a red polo shirt. She would just show up and play with me. Usually we would play Barbies. We would play together for hours, and then she would tell me she would have to go, and she would leave. One night, when I was 10, I woke up, and one of my Barbie dolls was standing on my dresser, and her little purple plastic brush was going down through her hair. I couldn't see anyone holding it, but somehow I just knew that it was my friend. I sat up in bed, and I sternly told her that I didn't like what she was doing and that she was scaring me. The brush stopped, the Barbie laid down, and then all was quiet. I laid back down, and I went back to sleep. I never saw my friend again after that. I spoke to my parents about it a few years later, and while my mom was incredulous, my father confirmed that he had seen her too, but they both told me without question that she was not a real person. Fast forward approximately 10 years, I'm moving out of my childhood home. I had already been gone for a couple of years, but hadn't actually moved any of my things out. The day after I had mostly cleared out my room, my dad called me and said, I have kind of a weird request for you. Could you come by and tell your friend that you're all right? I was taking a shower and I saw her walk through the bathroom. Then your bedroom door opened. I called to her, but I don't think she listens to me. So I did just that. I went home, I went to my old bedroom, and I swear I could smell her there. My room smelled like incense, despite none ever being lit in there. I sat down in the middle of the floor and just talked for a while. I told her I wasn't sure if she could hear me, that everything was okay, and that I had moved out into a nice apartment near my new job. I told her about my new job. I told her how old I was, just in case she never knew. I thanked her for being my friend, and I told her I was sorry about how our friendship ended, that I never forgot her, and I found some comfort knowing she was still here. I told her that my parents were moving soon, so I probably wouldn't be back to this house ever. And I said that I didn't want her to be lonely, so I hoped if she ever wanted to move on, she could. Then I stood up, I turned off my light, and I said goodbye. I shut the door. I headed down the hall to tell my dad that I had done what he had asked. And then my bedroom door clicked back open, and I heard a very clear, "See ya." I turned around to look, but decided to leave the door open, and I just waved. I'm 36 years old now, and I had my daughter last year. One night early in the newborn trenches, I was operating on almost zero sleep and rocking the baby quietly in the dark when I got the urge to talk to her. I introduced my baby out loud, and I talked about my birth experience. I told her how old I was now and how I was told I couldn't have children, but here we are. And I swear I heard her laugh, sigh, and then whisper like she was trying not to wake up my baby. Beautiful. I haven't spoken to her since, but I still think about her. Whew, that one gave me goosebumps when I read it.
That is
I love that.
Cute.
Yeah. I love a sweet or like a friendship ghost story or like
They're not
ghost
all bad,
romance.
right?
Yeah.
They're not all bad. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, wow. I like how chill she was about a Barbie just being like having a brush go through her hair.
Waking up in the middle of the night and seeing your Barbie standing on the dresser, which is just terrifying in general.
I would die. That's like the Furbies. When the Furbies in the middle of the night be like,
Yeah. She's like, Chelsea, go to bed. Stop brushing her hair. Like, that's crazy. That's how I picture Selena's life growing up, because she said she sees ghosts all the time. She sees dead people.
Mary Agnes. That was my best friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As a little kid, you would see who's Mary Agnes?
So my parents bought this house. It was only 2 years old, and they had bought it in the summer, and they would hear like music box sounds and stuff. My mom was pregnant with me, but when all the windows were closed, they'd still hear like this like tinkling music box. And then as soon as I was born, like it was really clear I was always following things like a newborn. But as I got older, there was this little friend who lived in the space of the wall between the two closets in my bedroom. I called her Mary. And as I started to learn words better, it became that her name was Mary Agnes. And then when I was about 4, my mom saw like a little girl under the table for a split second. And she's like, oh, might not be an imaginary friend. So she ended up getting the Historical Society to come in. And one of the like families that founded our town had a daughter named Mary Agnes, and she died of scarlet fever. So that was—
You're kidding.
That was my friend. And then years later, they owned so much land in our town. My first house was on what still would have been their land, but separate house. And we had an EVP recording, and it was just someone went, "It's me, Mary." And it was so clear, but it was like in this whispery sound. And that was the last time I ever heard of her, but she was still around. And I don't have memory at all of what she looks like. It's just living through stories that my family told me, but interesting. So when you did that, I was like, because when I left my old house, I did that. I'm like, "Mary, I'm moving out of town." And that's kind of the last thing I said to the house. So that was weird. I'm like listening to the story. I'm like, damn, I resonate.
I know, it reminded me of you.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Do you remember how old you were when it started?
Honestly, it's like one of my first memories. So I would say I was like 3. And I remember really little, always seeing a woman in a black dress out of my peripheral all the time in the hallway. And it was like I'd sit at the table and I'd see her. When I'd look, she wasn't there. But my earliest memories as like a human and like being alive is of spooky stuff.
You know, it was one of the bonus episodes that I did where we talked about past life regression. And one thing that was so interesting that I learned while doing that episode was how sacred the age of 3 is in a lot of other cultures around the world, because they've fully recognized that age 3 is when kids have like the clearest vision into what other spirit realms are out there. So they will take 3-year-olds around and they'll ask them like, "What do you remember from your previous life?" And kids have like straight up solved murders. Been like, "I was a person who was killed by like this guy in town." And yeah, because at 3 years old, you just have like the ability to connect.
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
So it makes sense that you were 3 years old. That's
cool.
So spooky.
That's cool.
Damn. I would have been diabolical. I would have just made stuff up.
You would have.
I would have. I was a bastard at 3. That would have been terrible.
You were just a horrible toddler just out there.
Yeah, I was. Just like, guys, I know everything.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Just accusing everyone in town of
exactly.
murder.
Pinning people against each other. Well, I steal cookies from the cookie jar. Yeah.
So I was reading through the comments. Actually, let me read you some of the comments that people wrote, because I was very like unsurprised at the amount of other people who had like kind of spooky ghosty things happen when they were young that commented on this thread. So one of the comments was, "When I was around 11 or 12, I used to share a bedroom with my sister who was around 9. One night, some sound woke me up and I sat up and saw a human-shaped thing sitting on the padded storage bench at the end of our room. I thought it was my sister at first, so I called her name a couple of times. She wasn't in bed. I started to freak out as it was looking in my direction, but had a black space where the face was supposed to be. The rest of the body was white, but it was solid as a person and moving its arms, but there was no sound. It felt like about 2 to 3 minutes staring at it, and then I had this overwhelming feeling of exhaustion come over me, and I fell back to sleep. I woke up the next morning, slumped over in bed, but in the same sitting position, and I realized I had wet the bed. This has not happened to me since I was 3. Sister was still gone. I ran to my parents' room, and my sister was in their bed, and they said she had come running into their room, scared, in the middle of the night, saying a ghost was in her room. She described the exact same thing as me. We're now in our late 40s, but still remember it as clear as if it happened last night. Legit the most terrified I've ever been to this day."
I'll pass her through there.
Hell no. Yeah, 2 accounts of the same thing in the same night. That's crazy.
No, I hate that because I have sleep paralysis. And so my initial thought was like, oh, that's sleep paralysis. You know, some people think it's supernatural, some people don't, but you can write it off as sleep paralysis. But then when someone else sees it, it's always when someone else experiences the same thing.
It makes it so much more real.
Yeah. I had sleep paralysis as a kid, and I remember it just being like the most horrifying thing ever, but you still have it?
Mine didn't start till college.
Oh, interesting.
What was yours like as a kid? Because I've never heard of children having it.
Oh, yeah. I had it, and then I started getting migraines very shortly after. I get chronic migraines. So I don't know if that correlated or what it was, but mine was around like, that I can remember, like 4 or 5. And then it continued till I got into like high school. And then it just kind of, I still have only nightmares. Like I only have nightmares every night. And I still talk in my sleep. Like, Selena, you know this.
Yeah, I didn't know it was every night.
Yeah, it's every night. But it's funny because so does Caleb. We both have chronic migraines. Anyway, but I used to.
Do you have a gas leak?
Yeah.
Have you checked for carbon monoxide?
Maybe. But we both have had it since we're like 6, 7, 8. So we just both grew up with it. But yeah, sleep paralysis. I would just, you just think that you wake up and there would just be always somebody like sitting at the end of my bed or sitting on top of me or in the closet, and you just can't move. And it is like the most horrifying thing ever. And I would I would wake up screaming. My mom would come in, and then I'd always get like migraines around that same time. And I didn't understand what they were. I just knew my head hurt. It was just a bad time.
That's spooky.
It was very confusing as a kid. But I think as I got older, I just started understanding that my sleep paralysis was like just nightmares. So like I could, and that migraines are migraines. So, but as a kid, it was terrible. Yeah. So I'm sorry you still have sleep paralysis.
No, but at least as an adult, kind of what you were saying, you can understand that it's a nightmare, or you can at least understand, like, if I breathe. I had heard somewhere that on average that it only lasts 3 seconds, and I actually don't think that's true, but I've been able to, now when it starts, I can count, and my sleep paralysis demon will still come into the room, and we have a whole soiree, the whole thing we do where he'll get into bed with me, start crushing me. Whisper in my ear that he's going to kill me.
All right. Well, are we moving on to the next one?
Yeah. Do you want to read yours? You have the next one up.
Yeah. You direct me.
Go for it.
All right. Okay. So this is my story. It is weird guy shows up at my parents' house at 1 a.m. looking for me and using details of my life that were valid 20 years ago. Help me figure this out.
Already hate it.
This is makes no sense, but okay. Posted by Lampro Capnos 1324 in r/RBI. What's RBI?
Oh, Reddit Bureau of Investigations. Are you on that subreddit?
I have a new one. No, I'm so excited.
It's really good. It's just like a bunch of Redditor. There's like lawyers in there, but it's just people who are like, this weird thing happened. Can you help me solve what's going on? There was someone who was like, I think the woman upstairs is running a cult, and people will help like search what cult it could be, like what area are you in? Like I'm looking up now. It's really cool. You should check it out.
I'm so excited. I have a new rabbit hole. Fantastic. All right, this was October 5th, 2022. Trigger warning, possible stalking. This happened 3 nights ago, and I'm going crazy trying to figure it out. I just moved into a new apartment 1 month ago, and I am still unpacking and settling in. I have been using my parents' address as my mailing address, who live a few towns over, 20 minutes away, all my life. 3 nights ago, my parents called me at 2 a.m., freaked out, and proceeded to tell me this story. Oh my God, 2 a.m., okay. Apparently, 1 a.m., someone started banging on their front door and repeatedly ringing their doorbell. My stepdad walked downstairs and opened the door. That's some man leaving the front glass door closed and locked. There was a man standing outside who looked to be in his 30s, with a black hoodie on with a hood pulled up around his face. He didn't have any distinguishing facial features, facial hair, or tattoos. Neither my stepdad or my mother, who was watching the whole thing out a window, recognized the man. The man said, "I'm so sorry to bother you, but I'm looking for my full name." My stepdad played dumb and said, "Who?" The man proceeds to state my full name again and says that my boyfriend is worried because I didn't come home that night. He claimed to be a friend of my boyfriend and told my stepdad that they are both out looking for me, worried because I didn't show up at home. I don't have a boyfriend. I live by myself with my 3 dogs and haven't been in a relationship in the past 5 to 6 months. Here's the weird part. My stepdad asked the guy what boyfriend he was talking about, and the man told him the name of the boyfriend I had when I was in 10th grade, nearly 20 years ago. My boyfriend in 10th grade has a very, very unique Italian name. Sorry. Selena and I read a story right before we came on to this guy named Mario, and it just made me think of Mario. I'm like, Mario. And it's like, it's me, Mario. Very, very unique. Sorry. I hate my brain. Anyway, I've never met anyone with a full name even close to his. He said my high school boyfriend's name a few more times to ensure my stepdad heard him and repeated that they are very worried about me. Is my stepdad sure I'm not inside? At this point, my stepdad was weirded out and closed and locked the door in his face. The man did not leave. He lingered in front of my parents' house for the next 10 minutes, smoking cigarettes and talking on the phone. Finally, my parents called the cops. About 5 minutes before the cops arrived, the man walked down to the dead end on their block and drove away in a silver car. My stepdad was unable to get the license plate. My parents filed a police report and nothing else happened. After I heard the story, I was going nuts over the weird details. How would someone know who I dated nearly 20 years ago, and what would the motive be to make up a story that included that weird detail about my past? I have not had contact with the 10th grade boyfriend in over a decade. Yesterday, I decided to message him on Facebook to see if he had any insight. I told him the whole story. He was just as confused as I was and claimed to have no part in it. I am at a loss. I'm also freaked out that some strange man is going through that much trouble at 1 a.m. to look for me. Any insights or ideas would be greatly appreciated. No, nothing else weird has happened since then. What?
I agree with what you say, with what you said about it's man to walk down and open your door at 2 in the morning, because there's no way I would have ever.
Looking through the windows. Who the f is here?
I'm calling the cops. I'm not even interacting with that person.
Mm-mm.
I'm just like waiting to see if they leave in the next 2 minutes, and then I'm calling the police.
Not even checking to see who it is. Like at that point,
in a black hoodie.
Horrifying. Horrifying.
So yeah, at least he pretended like not to know who she was. He had that foresight at least. But my goodness, what kind of trolling? This is I would do when I was 3 years old, I'd just go to people's houses. But
be like, is she inside? Show me your daughter.
Is this something like, is this somebody who she went to school with who's like trying to,
why 20 years later?
Right? Is this guy just figure out he has free will?
That is so weird. I'm curious. Were there any updates? Did they write anything else about that? Okay,
so the edit update. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Update. Wow, this really blew up. Thank you so much for all the kind words and precautions that I should take. I want to add something here that a few people commented that might shine some light on this mystery. First off, I am not in any legal trouble and have no reason to think someone would be suing me. God, I guess it's always in the realm of possibility that I'm being sued by someone, but I really don't think that's it. She's being served at 1 a.m. at her parents' house. That doesn't make any sense.
By a guy just chain smoking cigarettes outside of her house.
Yeah. I did take a personal loan out, took it about a year and a half ago. It wasn't for anything too crazy, and I was really good with making payments on time until about 6 months ago when I had a medical issue. I called the loan company. They claimed to have nothing to do with it. All my friends and family also noted that the 1 a.m. factor kind of rules that out anyway. Nothing else strange has happened at my parents'. I went there for the first time last night and kept a close eye out for anything. Didn't observe anything out of the norm. So this remains a mystery. I'll be sure to update if something else happens. Oh my goodness. And there is another update. So should I just get ready?
Yeah. Because now I'm so invested.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Just keep going. All right. 1 year later, I finally have an update to this insane mystery. I will include the original story here first. Okay. We already read that. We don't need that. Okay. Recent update. After everything this happened, me and my family and a couple of close friends have been talking about this mystery in depth to try and put our heads together to figure it out. We all have our own theories, but ultimately no definitive answer as to what happened or who this creeper was. So we pretty much put it to rest and only continue to joke about it once in a while. Here's the update. My stepsister, my stepdad's daughter, and her fiance were at a house party right after the holidays, around early January of this year. While they were there, they started talking to a girl that neither of them knew. After some time talking together, the girl started talking about her ex-boyfriend and how they were going through a really rough time together. They had just recently broke up and she felt really bad because he was a wreck over it. Somehow, it came up that this girl's ex-boyfriend was my 10th grade boyfriend. The one with the really unique Italian name.
Mario.
The whole Mario Luigi. Very unique.
So unique.
The whole I'm gonna stop making jokes. The whole situation wasn't that big of a coincidence, since I went to high school with my stepsister's fiance, and we have a lot of mutual friends. So it makes sense that they were at the party that would include some people I went to high school with. As soon as my stepsister and her fiance hear this, they both start freaking out, and without revealing too many details, they tell the girl about the whole mystery and how weird it was. As they are telling the story, the girl's face starts to go white and she looks like she's about to cry. My stepsister and fiance try to console her and ask her what's wrong. The girl starts to tell them that a few nights ago she was sleeping and someone started banging on her door at, get this, 1 a.m., just like what happened to me at my parents' house. The girl jumps out of bed and says she was absolutely terrified by how loud and aggressive someone was banging on the door. She said she literally thought it was going to break in. Okay, let's see how the woman reacts in the situation, okay? The girl has a Ring camera, so looks on her phone. Already smarter.
Doesn't just answer the door.
Yeah. There on the camera is a guy in a black hoodie banging on the door. She obviously pretends like she isn't home and keeps all the lights off. We love to hear it. He
There we go.
continues banging as she is getting ready to dial 911. The guy stops and leaves. She said she was absolutely terrified. For whatever reason, she didn't end up calling the cops, but may have went to stay with a friend that night or a night after. My stepsister and fiance are shocked by the details and how similar it is to my story, especially because of the mutual ex-boyfriend we share. Except this girl literally just broke things off with him. They asked the girl if she has any idea who the guy is, and she said no, but that it definitely is not the actual ex-boyfriend, okay? She said this guy was much taller and heavier than our shared mutual ex. How weird. This mystery is still unsolved, and these new details honestly just make my head spin even more. No one else has showed up to my parents' door since the actual incident a year ago. What?
So he's just messing with people? Is he just like, is his ex crazy and he's just like setting people around?
Guy? Yeah, paid a guy to go.
That's exactly where my brain went.
What the? Yeah, he's just a disturber, maybe. Wow, that's so scary. Why?
It's so dark. I've covered like hitmen before on Heart Starts Pounding. We have an episode where we talk about hitmen, and like the vast majority of hitmen are just like cousins of people who want their wives killed. Like it's just, They just ask someone they think will do it. It's not really a professional hitman ever, which is why it's often so messy and that's how you hear about it. But I'm like, yeah, did the ex-boyfriend just ask like his cousin or some guy that they knew to like go, I don't know, take out his ex-girlfriends?
For the first girl though, why 20 years later?
Well, I don't know if something broke in him. Like maybe he broke up with well, I guess it was maybe a year later, but yeah, if he like got dumped and then was like, I'm just gonna take out all of my ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, I think like he just had a breakdown. And yeah, it was take it or just like to scare. Hopefully it was just to scare, but yeah, it could have been worse. I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy. There's extra info for comments. I love context. So 10th grade boyfriend and I had a horrific breakup. I met my high school sweetheart while I was dating him and broke up with him messy in a pretty messed up way, okay? He held a grudge over it all throughout high school and was extremely nasty to me to the point of bullying. At one point, I had to go to a security guard to escort me to classes because of him, and his friends were bullying me so badly. The bullying was only severe for the rest of 10th grade, but he definitely hated me all through high school. At one point, he did end up apologizing to me and explained that he was just heartbroken over me breaking up with him. But at that point, I was way past the point of forgiving him. After graduating high school, we ran into each other maybe once or twice while I was at home from college, and he was totally cordial and nice to me. And we laughed the high school experience off. Oh, he was inside. He was just like boiling, even though he was acting cordial, I bet. Oh.
Yeah, so it sounds like he has a hard time being broken up with. Yeah. Like a history of that.
He's a bitter little man. Bitter little Italian man with a very unique name, Mario Luigi.
Little Mario Luigi.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. Comments say, I don't know what's going on, but your father should never open the door at 2 a.m. for a damn stranger again in life. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Another comment says, this is really unsettling. If this had happened to me, here's what my first theory would be. My parents also still live in the same house I grew up in. Everyone I went to school with would know the address. It's a nice house, and one would assume that there's nice things in it. When I was a teen, I briefly got mixed up with the wrong crowd, who at the time wasn't too bad, but nowadays most of them are addicts and complete lowlives who have done time in jail. If my parents told me this story, I would immediately assume that someone I knew in high school who's now an addict was casing houses in the neighborhood, or even purposely targeting my parents' house because they already knew the layout and rang the doorbell to see if anyone was home. And when they answered, they had to make up a lie. So they went with that because knowing the details might give plausible deniability. So what their real intention was, robbing the house, and they just claim they were confused if caught. But the story is still weird because he's talking about stuff like from 20 years ago. Why is that the default?
That's so weird.
No, yeah, I actually don't think it's that. Because also why...
No, I don't either.
Like if you're going to case a house, like you just see if there's cars in the driveway and then you just don't go to that house. Yeah. Like it seemed like, I don't think he was casing the house.
Yeah. And if somebody knocks on the door, I would have just like ran.
Yeah. I'd been like, no, thank you.
Yeah. That I don't buy that just because of what his default was.
It's no.
Like, yeah, looking for the daughter of what I said. What?
I just found some weird yearbook. Thrift store. I was like, no, I'm going to target this person. There's enough info in here.
Yeah.
Okay, but actually that's something I'm so scared of is someone just randomly picking me or my family. Yeah. Just something like that. Like, oh, I just saw your picture in this thing and now like you're my wife and I'm going to come get you. I don't know. That just freaks me out so much.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It is freaky. Yeah. Stalkers. I don't know. Stalker stuff in general. That's all freaky. I know Selena and I have had our plethora of stalker stories over the years. Have you had anything like that?
No.
Good. I'm glad.
Is it? Oh, I mean, you guys both have such like massive followings that it just, I fear that it just happens to everyone.
Yeah, it's from that, but also without.
Chris has had a lot which is.
Without, but before all this happened too. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, it's happened. I've had to move now since like, being a public facing or whatever. But yeah, even when I was just like 16, 17, working in certain places, and there would be like a lot of male people that would come through, and there was always like middle-aged men, and they would like follow me around and leave like gifts on my car, or like one person did, and then one person tried to like sorry, it's just so ridiculous. It's just this like a 45-year-old guy who like got obsessed with me and like invited me to come on his helicopter and like go to a place north of where we were. And I was
you're
like,
just a teenager.
No.
No.
My shift.
Just in British Columbia, come out to the mountains in the middle of nowhere.
For real.
I was going to say, like, he wanted to take you, like, deep into, like, the Canadian wilderness. Like, no.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, like, I don't know. Anyway, just crazy stuff like that. But it's just creepy. Like, people can just show up at your house.
But
this
creepy.
Doesn't make sense. I don't understand.
I know.
I feel like it's just a vendetta thing.
I know. I followed this one girl on TikTok who... she was telling her stalker story, and it was this guy that she had gone to school with. She didn't know until like 6 years of him being obsessed with her that he had been following her for that long because he had never tried to interact with her. But he like saw her in, I think, a college class, became obsessed with her. And then for like 6 years was like saving her stuff and taking pictures of her and just keeping little mementos. And then eventually did start trying to make contact with her and tried to like befriend her dog before he went and talked to her so that the dog wouldn't bark when he would come to her house.
Oh, that's so eerie. I hate it so much.
Serial killer level stuff.
Yeah, that's scary.
Horrifying.
Oh, that is horrifying. Yeah, it's almost worse just not knowing who is doing stalking.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Like, I guess I haven't known. Like, I've gotten mail that have like flash drives in it where they're like, we know where you live. We're going to come and get that.
Oh my gosh.
I remember that.
I never looked at the flash drive, though. I gave it to the police. I wonder what was on it, though.
Yeah, you should ask them.
I'll follow up. All right, what do you got, Selena?
Yeah, I'm very interested in what yours is now, Selena.
So my 20 female fiance, 21 male, is refusing to buy our dream home that is an amazing area and super cheap because he thinks it's haunted. So this is posted in Reddit Relationships by Osilumpa, and this is 10 years old.
Sold. Selena would move in immediately.
I feel like all of us might actually move in.
I know. I don't want to. That, when I bought this house, the second time we walked through, the lady's like, "Don't worry, it's not haunted." Why would you say that?
Why'd you have to say it, ma'am?
Why'd you say it? It's a haunted house.
That's funny.
All right. So me and my fiance have been together for 5 years. I'm a nursing aide and he's an electrician. He has always been a straightforward guy. He doesn't lie and he says what he means and he means what he says. Anyway, we are expecting our first child soon and we currently live in a 1-bedroom apartment. So naturally, we agreed that we should buy ourselves a home. Now we live in a semi-rural Australian town. Okay, lots of spiders. Sorry. Houses aren't overly expensive here compared to houses in the cities, but they certainly are not cheap. So we're looking around and we find this beautiful old home in the central business district of our town. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, big shed out back, which would be great for my fiance. I really cannot express how beautiful this house is. I'm so upset that we probably won't be buying it just because of what my fiance thinks of it. And before I get into the details of why he doesn't like it, I would understand if he didn't like the look of the house. He didn't like the location or didn't like the functionality, but no, he has one issue with the house, and that's what bugs me. So I show my fiance the house on our laptop. He loves it. Can't believe the price. And may I say, due to the generosity of my late grandparents, we wouldn't even need to get a loan. We could buy the house and we could have it made for the rest of our lives. Plus, my fiance said that he used to always walk past the house when he was back in high school and that he always loved it. So we set a date for the walkthrough. I'll give my perspective first. So we arrive. House is stunning. I mean, it looks better in person than it does in pictures. So much light gets into the house as well because of the amount of windows, big, beautiful windows, just how I like them. Then you get to the second floor and go out onto the balcony from the master bedroom and you see the view. Oh my God, the view. You can see half the town from it. Now, while I am trying to contain myself, here's my fiance just walking around the house with a really sour look on his face. I asked him what's wrong, and he said he wasn't feeling well. Around 20 minutes into the walkthrough, the real estate agent had to take a call. That's when my fiance pulled me aside and particularly freaked out. He looks me dead in the eyes and tells me that the house is haunted. He said the moment he walked in, he could feel how dark and depressing the house was, and said the final straw was when we walked past the basement, and he said it was like a bottomless pit of darkness and felt like there was something evil waiting down there for him.
Just don't go in the basement.
Just don't go down there.
Get over it.
The rest of the house, the big windows.
There's a kitchen island. Shut up, Steve. All right.
And hey, I saw how upset he was, and because we were going to get married, I sympathized with him. I asked him if he wanted to leave, expecting he'd say no because he's the kind of guy that likes to finish what he starts. But he immediately said yes. So we leave, and that was that. I asked him if he would even consider the house, and he said absolutely not. At first, I thought he was having a moment, like he was afraid of finally being an adult/father, moving into a house and so on, but he kept looking at other houses for sale. We found another house that's pretty good, but doesn't come close to the other house, and he's ready to buy it. So we're gonna settle for a decent house instead of the amazing one because he felt like it was haunted. So yeah, I want to know what to do. And this isn't a deal breaker for me by any means, but I'm still upset over it. So yeah. Also, sorry about the quality of this post. It's 1 a.m. I'm angry, tired, and upset. You know what? Maybe he's like super in touch and he hasn't told you and he knows, and maybe he just knows the future is bleak. If like, it's so beautiful, why is it for sale?
That's true.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, who's died in this house? Which, don't they have to legally say? I don't know about Australia, but don't they have to legally tell you if somebody's died in the house or something?
Certain amount of years. Ooh. And I think certain reasons. I think if it was something that could leave an impression, something like murder, but I think if it's like a simple die in their sleep, I don't think that they don't have to.
I know there was like the poltergeist lawsuit that was in New York where a guy had advertised the house as being haunted.
Yes.
He had like publicly told people it was haunted, and then he didn't include that when he sold the house, but then the people who moved in found out it was haunted the hard way. Right. And he got in trouble for not disclosing that. So like now, I guess if you ever publicly say that the house is haunted, you have to disclose in the listing that it's haunted.
Which I feel like makes sense. Like, I'd like to know, I think.
I would want to know. Do you think you would want to, well, I was going to say, would you want to know if someone died in the house? But yeah, I think I pretty much across the board. I guess like,
yeah,
if it was just that someone was old and passed away in the home.
Yeah.
I'd still want to know, but I'd be fine.
They didn't tell my parents when they bought their house. They found out a couple years later. But we knew that the guy, they bought the house from an estate where someone had died, but we didn't know it was in their bathroom. And then they found out later. Like, the real estate agent didn't tell them.
Oh, wow. How'd they find out?
I think they ended up... Oh, neighbor.
Oh.
It was the neighbor
like
that
Elvis?
told them. So he retired. 3 days later, he was going to go on a road trip with friends, had packed the car.
No.
The friends show up. Car's packed on the driveway. Doors locked. They end up getting in. They can hear the shower running. He was on the floor in my parents' master bathroom, stepped out of the shower, fell over, and died of a heart attack. 3 days after retiring.
I know. That's like one of those stories they they tell about like, don't give too much to your job. Like, don't wait to retire to travel because that's like literally one of those stories they tell.
So true.
Wait, was there an update on this one?
Okay, so there weren't updates, but there were comments. Oh, wait, no, there is an update. I'm a total liar.
Come on, man.
I took the poster's advice, couldn't call the real estate agent because it's like 2 a.m. So I looked up the address on the internet. A woman who lived in the house with her husband in the 50s pushed him down the basement stairs and the fall
there it is.
Killed him. Yeah. He was allegedly abusive. That is enough for me. I do not believe in ghosts, but I am not living in a murder house. The murder actually had a huge court case for a small town. Surprised I didn't know about it.
I was just, when he talked about the basement, I was like, the staircase, the show.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes. Oh, I've seen the documentary.
I thought about that immediately. Yeah. The documentary. Yeah. I think there was a docuseries or was a documentary. Anyway, that's immediately what I thought of when he talked about, yes. When he talked about it being in the basement, I was like, somebody got pushed down those stairs. So that's interesting.
Whoa.
There are some comments too. So this person said, pardon me, I'm a bit of a cynic, but did you ask the agent about the history? Because I wanted to know why this gorgeous house is going for so cheap. What's the catch? Have you inquired? And then there's another one here that says, so there is a theory about why humans sometimes get creeped out in seemingly arbitrary 25-cent word, writer who doesn't know.
Arbitrary.
It might be a low frequency vibration, sound you can't hear, caused by nearby machinery or a busy roadway. Supposedly it is left over from hunter days because some predators growl at sub-audible levels. Your fiance might be subconsciously picking up a frequency you can't hear, and a portion of his lizard brain is tripping his fight or flight reflex while he's in that house. This will not go away and cannot be fixed. He has a right to be comfortable in his own home, no matter if it's scientifically explainable or not. Either way, he would never be able to relax. Keep looking for another home.
Interesting. Huh. That's like a whole other perspective. That's interesting.
Yeah, I had heard about that too. It's like, I think it's 18 hertz is like the specific frequency that will make people kind of like hallucinate ghosts. But it sounds like he heard a ghost. He was just like fully reading something from the basement.
Especially since someone was murdered in the house where he was uncomfortable. And he didn't know.
Do you think there was a reason why it was him picking up the energy, as it like maybe it was the man that got pushed down the stairs, like warning him about or like trying to reach out to him?
It's like, this house is going to make your wife push you down the stairs.
Yeah.
Stop repeating history.
Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe he's a little guardian angel ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sounds like he was a bad guy. And maybe deserved to be pushed down the stairs.
Oh, maybe actually, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. True. Maybe it was a different ghost in the house who was also killed.
She was crazy.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the new Conjuring movie, right? It was about like there's ghosts in the house, but really there's like a demon who's like controlling the ghosts.
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
It's not really a spoiler.
Last rites.
I had a baby. I haven't been able to watch a single movie.
That's fair.
Tell me about it. I've been trying to see Wuthering Heights for like a month. And I'm never going to see it until it comes out until I can just watch it on my TV.
I did go to the movies and see that.
I don't watch anything unless it comes to streaming. I'm so lazy now. So I don't even have an excuse. I don't have a baby.
I just don't want to live.
Yeah.
Has your baby noticed anything spooky? Like babies are notorious for kind of picking up on spooky things.
I have had two things. He's 6 months old now. There's only been two things. When he was really, really, really little, I was laying in my bed and he was in my arm and I was looking at his eyes. And in the reflection of his eyes, I saw the headboard of the bed, my head, but then just a dark figure. And he was looking past me and I look, nothing's there. But like I look back at his eyes, it's there. I look, it's not there. I look back, it's not in his eyes anymore. So I'm like, so that was weird. But every once in a while I'll be holding him and he'll be like jumping on my lap. And then he'll be like smiling at me. And then he'll like look up over my shoulder and be like, ha-ha! Nothing. I look, I'm like, Adam, he's doing it. But that's only been one time, really. So I just hope he's not like me. I really hope. And if he comes and he's like, there's a man in my bedroom, I will immediately put him in my bed or just put the house up for sale.
Just kidding. No, I know. She said that before he was even born. She's like, I hope he's not like me.
Yeah.
God. Dude, I used to go into my parents' room all the time. Like my dad hated it. He'd come home from work 1 o'clock in the morning. I'd be 3-4 years old. He just hears me full conversation. opens my bedroom door. I'm just standing on my bed. And he's like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, the people in the walls. And he told me he would just shut the door and go to bed.
All right.
Yeah. He's like, that's none of my business.
Mm-hmm. Nope. He would tell the guys at work, and the guys were just like, yeah, we don't want to know that. Don't tell us that.
Yeah. No, that is kind of scary because, as parents, you're kind of expected to be like, there's no monster under your bed. Like, let's look together, see? And I could totally also see being like, I'm not checking. Maybe there is a bad guy in your closet. Like, come sleep in my room.
The sage and the salt. Yeah. And Selena and I and you have like proof that we're into all this stuff. Like, we go ghost hunting, all this. So our kids, you could be like, receipts. There's ghosts and monsters.
Yeah, you just pull out all the equipment and you're like, well, let's actually see if there's a ghost in here.
Yeah, let's prove it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my son, in terms of spooky things, because he's so little, he's only, I guess 7 weeks this week.
Oh.
He's like not even really tuned into what's happening ever. But right next to his changing table, we put a picture because my husband's father was a painter and he passed away 2 years ago. So we just have one of his paintings up. It's like beautiful. It's the Swiss Alps and there's cows. It's gorgeous. And the way that my son like locks in on that picture, it's like he's like spiritually connected to the picture. It's really cool to see. Like he doesn't really like, I don't know, focus on things yet, but there's something about that picture that he just focuses in on. And so
that's sweet.
It's really cute. It's like a little connection.
Yeah. That's much better than Selena's story. The demon shadow.
Yeah. I don't
know what is going on in your house.
There really isn't. Like in my house, like we know who it is. It's Leroy now. And Leroy was one who kind of built the house. And like, I guess he still has family. When we were doing renovations, he was around a lot. And that was like on the main floor. And I've even been live and people have heard it upstairs, been like, what is that? And I'm like, Leroy, but he's a great spirit. There was something nasty, but it really seems outside of the property because we've learned that our property was a dump and that the Hells Angels would come out here and this is where they would sink stuff. And then in the 60s, they brought in fill and brought the land up. So everything's lower than 20 feet below the ground.
Oh, wow.
They use it for farming and all that kind of stuff. So we know it's deep down there and it's more so outside. Like I will not in the dark. Outside my house in the dark, Chris can attest, horrifying.
It's a nightmare.
And when you say Hells Angels, we're talking about, like, for those who don't know, like the biker gang.
Yes. Yeah.
Motorcycle gang who, like, also would kill people. Like, when you say sink stuff, you're talking about actually
we heard
sinking
from
people or what?
From a local man who actually, their family owned a lot of land around here. There was, like, a husband and wife with an abuse situation, and the woman left, ran away from her husband, but was never found again. So she's the woman in white up on the hill in the back who we've seen. But there's people here, like, and you know, for how into this I am, a lot more people than me. I don't know if I've ever physically seen Leroy, but my brother, who's a big skeptic, saw Leroy. A contractor working in our house saw him, where I haven't physically seen him. So he doesn't reveal himself to me. But I've seen the woman and on the Alice box out in the forest, some really, really dark stuff in the forest here.
Yeah, we salt ringed her house.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you need to because it sounds like there's a lot of stuff out there.
We do it every season.
You don't want that coming in.
We do it every season.
Do you feel like you need to every season? It doesn't, what's the life cycle of a salt ring? It kind of expires and people can come back in.
When I start forgetting I did it, I do it again because I feel like intention is a lot. But to be honest, I don't do any ghost hunting on my property anymore. I don't think I ever will again. I feel like we got it to this really good, healthy point. I wouldn't call it like super haunted anymore. Like I feel like the energy is a lot better here than it was. But I don't think I'll ever crack a Ouija board or an Alice box again in my house. My house is like my sacred place. We got it really great feeling. So
yeah, you don't want to like invite anything else into it.
Yeah.
I have one final one, and this is a fun little side story that I found while I was like perusing Reddit late at night. But this comes from Glitch in the Matrix subreddit, one of my favorite subreddits. Just about like weird stuff that happens that people can't explain. Kind of like living ghost stories, someone described them as, because like it's like ghost stories, but everyone's alive. It's just like, I don't know, weird stuff popping up. So this came from a thread, and it's kind of like internet folklore because someone said that they had copied this story from another thread they found, and when they went back to check it, that thread was gone. So no one knows where like the story originates from, but it's been passed around. And so this one starts. So near where I grew up, there was a large amusement park. One half of it was rides and coasters, and the other half was a water park. Obviously, the summer jobs there were a great pull when you were a teenager, and they employed a huge number of my friends on summer break from college. The jobs over in the water park were generally considered more desirable, though I was never able to get them because I'm a bad swimmer. Basically, the water park opened later and closed earlier, so the shifts were nicer, and they had to pay you more because you had to be first aid and CPR and lifeguard certified. A lot of my friends worked there, and I know about 3 of the people involved in this story. So it started at a water slide, one of the huge tube slides that you had to walk up 7 flights of steps to get to the top. One lifeguard was posted up top telling people when to go down, and one of my friends was a lifeguard at the bottom who helped people off the slide. They also gave them the all clear for the next person to go. A family had come with their child who was very young and apparently barely the height limit to go on this ride. The family was in line. It was the father first, the kid second, and the mother last. And that was so that someone would be with the kid both at the top and the bottom of the slide. So the father goes down the slide, gets off, and the lifeguard gives the all clear, and then they wait. You can't really see what's going on up top, but finally the next rider comes down. But it's the mother who walks over to the father and then asks where their son is. There's a moment of confusion, and my friend is pulled over by the family. The kid had been the next one to enter the slide up top before his mom, but had never come out the bottom. My friend was really confused at that point, so he calls up to the lifeguard who verifies that the kid went down the slide. Neither my friend nor the father saw the kid come out of the bottom. Until this is figured out, they shut down the ride. The top lifeguard calls a security guard and reports this as a missing child, while my friend calls a supervisor. The supervisor shows up and is apparently afraid that the kid is wedged in the tube somehow, and in a way that the mother failed to dislodge him coming down the slide. The parents are upset at this point and freaking out, and the super has the upper lifeguard go down the ride himself, spread out to make sure that there's no child jammed into the turns of the slide. He comes out of the bottom, having not dislodged the child, and everyone is more confused than ever. Meanwhile, security called the lifeguards, saying that they just turned up a missing kid near one of the coasters. Could they get a description of the missing child? The super sort of dismisses it offhand and says that it couldn't have been the same child. The coaster they found the kid by was clear across the park, and the child was only missing for a few minutes at this point. Instead, the super has a bunch of lifeguards run up the stairs and come down the slide, still hoping to dislodge the kid, while the other employees quietly look around the bottom, just in case the kid somehow managed to fall out of the tube. Meanwhile, upper management gets called in, and the parents of the kid are alternating between yelling and blaming each other, panicking, and threatening to sue the park. Upper management calls security and decides to ask them to pull the security camera footage from the top of the slide to try to figure out what happened. A kid a few years ahead of me in high school happened to be working security, and he was there when they pulled the footage, and one of the security guards said that he was almost positive that that was the kid they had in the room, the kid that showed up across the park, missing their parents. They get the kid's name, and sure enough, he is in the missing children's room, safe and sound. And here's where things get weird. The footage shows the father, the kid, and the mother entering the slide. It's also time-stamped, so they know when the child went down the slide. The incident report for when the kid was found clear across the park behind the roller coaster shows that he was discovered less than 5 minutes later. And if you've ever noticed, nothing in an amusement park is laid out linearly. There's always fences and bushes and buildings between you and where you want to go. The idea is to make you ramble about between rides and cut down the ride wait time. Weirdest of all was that the incident report said that this child seemed disoriented and was at first not able to respond to questions. It also stated that the kid, who was apparently in a water slide 5 minutes prior, was bone dry. This was the talk of the park for about a week, with everyone trying to come up with explanations. Guards searching the other security footage to try to find the kid going across the park, people trying to get from the slide to the coaster, and then upper management came out and basically hushed the whole thing up. Supervisors told the lifeguards that if they heard anyone talking about it, that they would be fired. Pretty soon, the park moved on to whatever the next drama was, and it got swept aside. But yeah, child goes down slide into time and space portal.
The Fringe.
I love it.
Fringe, Men in Black.
Yes.
It's like I've read stories about this, or like covered stories about this in Appalachia specifically. Where there's like a kid that is found 6 miles away, disappears immediately, and he's unscathed. Like he could not have gone up this mountain. All these things. It makes no sense. So you just can't make sense. Like
we're living in a simulation, man.
But now this one, there's cameras. Like, is it real? Is there footage?
I guess in this telling of the story, there is like footage of them going down and then the kid just showing up across the park.
So weird.
That is so strange. I don't even know what to make of that.
I know. I covered a story where this woman, so this was a woman that I interviewed back in the day during Heart Starts Pounding when we were like just interviewing people telling their scary stories. But she went to a park in New York, in upstate New York, and went on a trail with her boyfriend. There were two of them together. They're like walking around for 20 minutes. And when they get off the trail, her boyfriend's family was like yelling at them like, oh my God, you've been gone for 3 hours. Because they were having like a family party that day. And apparently like she and her boyfriend disappeared for 3 hours. And they were really concerned and they drove around and they were like shouting their names. And they went down the trail and they shouted for them and they didn't see them there. And she was like, it's so weird because I swore that I had only been gone for 20 minutes. And then the more you like research the park, the more you realize like other people have had that same exact experience there of like these weird time lapses and not necessarily showing up in other places, but I don't know. Sometimes there's just like a portal or whatever in a place. They say glitches in the matrix.
Oh man, that just makes me want to give up.
None of it's real anyway.
None of it's real. Why do I have to go to work?
Everything's fake. Everything's fake and somebody's controlling us. What the hell?
If I like think too hard about us being in a simulation, I like start to panic a little bit and
That's me when I think about space. Yeah. What's beyond everything? What is everything? Don't. Yeah.
Makes me freak out.
Freak out.
I know. If we're just in some like Sims simulation, some kid is playing on their computer.
Right?
I don't want them to see what I've done.
I hate it. And it just glitched and that kid just went across the park. Mm-hmm. We're in just like a roller coaster tycoon type situation.
Yes. Yeah, that literally is roller coaster tycoon.
That's it.
Somebody just picked up a little guy and just
dropped him.
Dropped him. And he's like, what's going on? I just want my mom. Poor little guy. That guy he's going to need therapy for the rest of his life.
Oh. Yeah, I would be curious like what his perspective was on what happened. Like, did you just wake up and you were across the park and you don't remember?
Come out a slide and you're just standing there?
Right? Because, well, what they said is he was disoriented and had nothing to say. But that's been the same stories that I've read in the Appalachia with specifically like little kids going, they're like, how did you get up here? And they just don't really know. And it's like,
I had read about ones in Appalachia where the kids, there was one specifically that I read where the kid was like, a big bear helped me. And they were like, a bear didn't help you. And he was like, no, a bear
picked me up and ran away with me.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, Bigfoot.
Kids are scary.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Yeah, and I know that. And then like they find him like totally fine, like in a log or something, or in like a little cave. It's creepy. It's weird. It's so weird.
I know. It's always and it's always kids. I don't know. Whatever it is like moving kids around.
Right?
The innocence.
So creepy. I don't know, especially in the middle of nowhere. Those ones are like what? But it's just as creepy. There's footage of that, and it's like, supposedly.
Yeah, when it's in such as public of a place. Did you ever? It just made me think of this. But did you ever? There was a time where my TikTok algorithm was just like water slides in Dubai that looked like they were in the back rooms. Like there's carpet around them, and they start inside. And it's like fluorescent lighting. It literally looks like you're in an office but there's like an opening and you go down the water slide and then it's like psychedelic once you're in there and there's like flashing lights and it goes pitch black and then you like swirl around something and go down. It's honestly horrifying, but my whole algorithm was this one guy that was like traveling the world, like just going on all these water slides. But I feel like this would happen in one of those water slides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Start in Dubai and end up in like Kansas.
Yeah, that's so interesting. God forbid somebody goes there and after they check or something.
Rip.
Just like
rip. Rip to them.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Wow. That's great. I'm not going to sleep tonight.
So spooky.
Thinking about that.
I know.
It's very strange. I'm gonna use a lot of my free will today. I'm gonna try to debunk that.
Yeah. Make sure they can never predict your next move. Exactly. Like just go absolutely wild.
Spinning.
Yeah. Spinning. No.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me for this episode today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, this was so fun.
I appreciate it. Sorry for our nonsense.
No, this is perfect because I love just getting spooky with other spooky gals.
Yeah.
It's my dream. It's how I wanted to spend this day. It proves we're not in the algorithm because they could have never seen this coming.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. It's very exciting. But yeah, we're very excited to hopefully collab again. With
yes, absolutely.
And stuff. It'll be awesome.
So for my listeners, where can they find you guys?
Yeah. We're on, what's our channel name?
Can't Sleep.
Can't Sleep channel. Is it?
Can't Sleep channel.
Whatever.
Yeah,
just look up Can't Sleep Selena Spooky Boo or Can't Sleep Call Me Chris and it'll show up. You'll find it. It's us with some candles holding them.
Looking like this.
That's us. And we just basically do this. We just yap. We just yap and gab and whatever.
It's our weekly catch up.
It's just fun, you know? It's just a hangout sesh. That's it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to put all that in the description so anyone listening, you're going to know exactly where to go to get more of this. And thanks, guys. So exciting.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks.
Catch you later. Bye. Heart Starts Pounding is written and produced by me, Kaelyn Moore. Heart Starts Pounding is also produced by Matt Brown. Our associate producer is Juno Hobbs. Sound design and mix by Red Rum Creative. Special thanks to Travis Dunlap, Grayson Jernigan, and the team at WME. Have a heart-pounding story or a case request? Check out heartstartspounding.com.